Hello, friends, colleagues, YouTube learners. This is your friend Dr. Satish Singhal, PhD, Professor Computer Science, El Camino College, Torrance, California. In this last video of IOAA technology, part 3, I'm just going to show you something very simple. Algorithm to source code. Algorithm in pseudo code form has been written. Now we need to make use of compiler to type it, remove compile errors, execute it, and run it basically. So this is what we are going to do. We'll go to our compiler Xcode on Mac. We'll type the source code, compile and run it, and process is identical for Visual Studio. So we go to our compiler and we're going to use this pseudocode algorithm which we have already converted into source code. So I'm just going to type the source code, although you need to do few other things before that. So let me go to my compiler. Excuse me. What happened? Okay. Xcode. Let's type here Xcode. And so those who are using Mac, I'm going to show all the steps. Steps for Visual Studio have been shown separately. So first you click on a new Xcode project, and we like to have the command line tool for Mac OS. So click here. Is there anything else? No. Next. And I'm going to use the title IOAA technology algorithm to source code. My habit is not leaving any blanks in any names. You could do that, but sometimes it creates problems. And language C++. You have other options for languages, but we're just going to use C++. And the next. This allows me to choose the folder where my project would be, and this is chapter 1, so I'm just using that. The name is already taken for me. Do create. Create will create a file with the name main. That's not a good idea generally. I always change the name to the project name, which is right here. So I'll say IOAA technology underscore algorithm to source code. Click enter. I'll delete that. Xcode for me automatically creates a template, but I'm going to make some changes to it. I put those magic words using namespace std. Magic words are all described in chapter 3, and if I'm not going to provide any command line argument, I can delete all that. Excuse me. I leave the return 0, but I will delete this part. Okay, so now I just go back to my PowerPoint and I just type these things. So let me kind of minimize this. Okay, that didn't minimize. And just put this on the side and just start typing double length, double width, double height. So do first of those three type. Everything first letter is uppercase, length. In your case, it'll be better if you just type and print it on a separate piece of paper and then go from there. And I also need double density. And then I'm going to have three more variables, one for surface area, double surface area, double volume, and double mass. So three more. These have to be exactly the same that were in the input and output variable name table. You can't even have difference of a case in a letter. If something was uppercase in the table, it has to be uppercase here as well. C++ is a case sensitive language which creates a lot of pain for some people. And then last one was double mass. Okay, now we go to next slide here on the PowerPoint, this one. So really what it is, I'm doing this column, I'm having a prompt and a storage space step. Prompt is always done by, in fact I can just copy and paste, cout. And obviously you can see my quotes are not going very well here. Quotes are not copyable from one software to another. So don't be surprised if your quotes won't work. Okay, I can just do C in length. And I'm going to show you some compiler that might creep up. Here L is uppercase. What if I type lowercase? Okay, it's not giving me error now, but if I do run, there it is. See, it already came up with the error. Use of undeclared identifier length. Did you mean length with uppercase L? So something similar will happen in Visual Studio. So it flags you, puts a red underline, and it wants you to fix it. And let me see if I can, I'm not going to do auto correction, but just do that. And that should have disappeared, but let me just compile it again. And now my error message went away. It'll give some unused variable things, but don't worry about them too much because we are going to use them all. And then my next prompt is enter the width. Okay, let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Okay. I would fix my quotes. Quotes don't transfer. And then I'll do C in width. W is uppercase, so I'll do that. And you'll notice that as soon as I do that, this cautionary message here will disappear because I used it. Well, I guess it requires compiling each time. Stop. Yeah. So now see, width has disappeared. Okay. So we keep doing it for other things like enter height. I have to fix the quotes. And C in height. And then finally enter the density of the cuboid material. Fix the code. And this one. And then C in density. Okay. So now we got all the input variables. We have declared the output variables. Output variables are the holders of computer results. And as you know, we pretty much copy and paste them. We don't do too much with it. There will be no quotes this time. So I should be able to copy and paste it. And same thing with the surface area. And same thing will be for the mass. And same thing for the mass. Okay, so if I run my program now, it will do all the computation because it got all the inputs and it applied all the formula, but of course I won't see them because I've not outputted, I've not done the C out for outputs. So that's the last thing I need to do. Okay, and if you compile it right now, you can stop it and run it. All your yellows will, cautionary will disappear. There you go, because I used everything. And I'm not ready yet because I still need to output the results. And in my PowerPoint, are they here? Yeah, they're here. So yeah, I'm not too successful in copying and pasting here, but I think I will find a way. It's not working. Okay, I think it'll work now. Ah, that won't work. Sorry about that. Sometimes using tricks just doesn't work. Okay, let's try it now. Okay. Okay, once again, our codes are not going to transfer. You have to redo them. That happens to be because fonts are not preserved in the compiler. This was just a variable name, so I don't have to do anything with that. And then I just need the volume and the mass. Okay. And once again, my quotes will not transfer, so I have to fix them. And here as well. Okay, so this requires patience. You can see it's activity full of patience. In the beginning you may get tired, so take a break, but there's no way to do it by being impatient. There's nothing you can force through here. You just have to have patience and do it slowly. Okay. I would not do what I'm doing here. I would not advise you to copy and paste. Typing by looking at a printed paper would be much better. Okay. So now I can see there are no red lines in my code. So that means I've taken care of all compiler. Let's say I put an X here. Well, that would be compiler. Although it doesn't show unless I run it. Should have shown. See, use identifier this. So it's telling you that you can use X here, basically. So, and then we're fine. Let's run it again. Okay. So now my program is running. This is my interaction and output window, asking me to enter the length. So I'm just going to take something simple like 10, 5, and 10. Or if you want 10.001, 10.01, and 5.001. So I take these simple numbers because those are easy for me to multiply in my head. So this will be around 500 or something for the volume. 10 into 10 is 100 multiplied by 500. So, and also these are having decimal parts. Now density, let's say again, I'll just use something like 10.001 also. So 500 into 10, so mass should be about 5,000. So surface area is 400, volume is 500.2, mass is 5,000, 2.5, and that's, and you can try different sets of numbers. It's not going to matter. So you can do some back of the envelope calculation. In fact, you could just type all the numbers in Google search bar for this formula and add the numbers and you'll get the answer right there, or you can use a calculator. But at this time it will become clear if I typed any formula wrong or anything like that, because my computed numbers will not match the desktop calculator computed numbers. Or if there was error in my formula in the analysis, that will show up right now. Okay, so we have done the include using namespace std. We have done the variable naming, variable declaration. We have done the prompting and data input. And then we did the computations and the output of the results. One thing I mentioned that you should not let output more than 90 characters. If you want to enforce that, you can just, as a comment, this is a comment which will not output, just type 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I just, okay, I don't need 10, 0 to 9 is 10. And I can copy and paste that 9 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I can see that none of my couts are going beyond that, earlier or later. One of the requirements is that none of your prompt or output should exceed 90 characters, because then I have to, in order to read it, I have to scroll, horizontal scrolling. That wastes a lot of time. That's how you can maintain 90 character limit. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and this was the video number 3 for IOA technology. This is the last video we have done. And one last thing I want to say is I'm the inventor of IOA technology, which is extremely useful for learning programming. Literature has practically nothing on it. Someday it will go into my ebook and you will see more narration or description of it. But until then, these videos, PowerPoint, and I've done a Microsoft Word document from the PowerPoint are something that are available to you. And all the design examples I've done, in them I've done IOA technology. It gets more and more complicated when we start to use if and else and loops and functions. But I'm guiding you through the whole thing. So ask me questions in discussion forum first, and then one-on-one on Zoom office hour. And that's how I can help you learn this technology for which authors are not writing anything. I'm the only one inventor of this. This has helped students a lot. Thank you and see you soon. I have to close everything before I can